So, Order of Death, 45-minute film delves deeply into the history of the Grove where powerful men make decisions that affect the world, yet remain completely hidden from public scrutiny. Again, this is the follow up years later, I believe, after Alex Jones and the Brits invaded. Alex Jones joined by the British in invading the Bohemian Grove. So let's find out what happened in the wake of that historical moment.
Bring fire!
Also, these were listed as popcorn. That doesn't look like popcorn to me, you know? Oh, shit. Yeah, they're not all that big, but they're certainly not popcorn. Like, hey, there was a picture from looked like from Diablo.
This is now George Bush. Dress us up. Right
Oh
here.
my god.
We got him on tape.
Let's send that spell over. Oh!
Sir,
Look at the cop.
I don't owe you this comment.
I know, I appreciate it.
You have this is what's called ambush journalism, and I disrespect you for that as well. So thank
Have
you
ever
and goodbye.
been in the ritual?
That's none of your damn business.
Oh,
That's right.
Oh my god.
our story begins in Northern California over 100 years ago.
Wow.
When locals began to spread rumors of bizarre occult rituals being conducted in the ancient redwood groves of Sonoma County. As the decades passed, it became clear these incredible stories had a basis in truth, and their source was a 2,700-acre private club known as the Bohemian Grove. Then, in a time period between the mid-1970s and the early 1990s, scores of reporters attempted to infiltrate the Grove. All attempts were unsuccessful. Grove security identified them, threw them out for trespassing, or in some cases, had the local police arrest them. To many, it seemed the Grove's secrets would never become public. All of that changed on July 15th, 2000, when we ripped aside the veil of secrecy.
All of that changed when Alex Jones videotaped this low-rent stage show. Ever since then, the world has been in tatters.
And were successfully able to penetrate the Bohemian Grove on their high holy day and videotape the cremation of care ritual. Our infiltration is chronicled in my documentary film, Dark Secrets Inside Bohemian Grove, a British documentary.
Now, we watched this. There's a VOD of it. If you like this documentary, you're entertained by it, definitely check out Dark Secrets Inside the Bohemian Grove. It's absolutely entertaining.
Film company World of Wonder also covered our investigation.
He was allowed inside openly.
In the weeks that followed, Alex streamed his footage on his website and released it as a sell-through video. Everywhere I looked, the internet was aflame with news of the daring raid.
As the news spread across the planet that the Bohemian Grove had been blown wide open and that their secrets were public, the people were amazed. They were amazed to learn that many U.S. presidents and British prime ministers, German chancellors, the Hollywood elite, the heads of business and academia, Federal Reserve chairmen were traveling to the Grove each year, and that presidents had been going there since the turn of the last century in 1900. They were shocked by each new revelation of ritualistic depravity. This film is about what we've learned in the 5 years since we infiltrated the Grove. And it's about the response that we've gotten from Grove members, the press, and even local activists in the area who've been protesting the Grove for over 25 years. Finally, we learned that the Grove was only one chapter in a larger, worldwide secret society hell-bent on bringing in a one-world government. What would the people do if they knew that the...
Yeah, I mean, there was literally zero depravity. Like, nothing untoward happened, nothing really... I mean, some things happened were absurd, because rich people are absurd like that, but I didn't see anything depraved or... It just looked like a summer camp.
Majority of the leaders in the corporate world, as well
Like a
as
summer
government,
camp production.
were deep
Whoa.
occultists. Before the year 2000 and our successful penetration of the Grove, the mainstream media denied that rituals were indeed taking place there and said that elite from all over the world were simply meeting in secret to have a good time. After the footage we had shot of the cremation of care ritual aired first in England and then in the United States on national TV, the mainstream media changed their tune.
Yeah, it was
The
aired
San
on
Francisco Chronicle had
prisonplanet.com.
previously refused to report on the Grove. After our infiltration, they wrote as many as 5 articles a year detailing the bizarre activities that were taking place inside the Grove, including the fact that top presidential advisor Karl Rove had tapped Arnold Schwarzenegger inside the Grove
What
to
a
run for
picture they
governor
used.
on California's recall ballot. Even the vaunted New York Times reported on the Bohemian Grove, but attacked us for sneaking in. The New York Post was one of many national publications to report on all of the homosexual activities going on at the Grove. The Post reported in its page 6 gossip column that Chad Savage, gay porno star, was, quote, servicing the moguls at the Grove.
Oh my God,
But a disturbing
Chad, what are you
theme
doing, bro?
ran through the body
He's out
of the
there
reporters.
servicing presidents.
Okay, it's true. The elite meet behind closed doors, and there's gay porn stars and gay prostitutes being shipped in like beluga caviar. What's the big deal? Let's just let them have their privacy. And so they have lakeside chats calling for world government. Really, they're not bad people. The people we should watch are those that are exposing it. They're really dangerous weirdos. Of all the hit pieces that we've been victims of, the worst was conducted on national television by Brian Lamb, the director of C-SPAN, and some shifty-eyed professor they dug up, who appeared to
Yeah,
be
no
flashing
kidding.
Masonic hand signs, while he tried to eviscerate our character by implying...
Why is there... Is this like a... Are they exposing him as AI, like his hands look fake? There was zero sex in the Bohemian Grove video that we saw. He had us believe that, like, people were... It was going to break out in the audience at that... at that fucking stage show.
That there was a ritual at all.
It was
Alex
lame
Jones
as hell.
claims they do this ritual. Meanwhile, the Bohemian Grove has gone public to the newspapers, admitting they conduct rituals.
Overnight, they had a gentleman on by the name of Alex Jones, who has a talk show in Texas, I think, and it's heard in communities around the United
Masonic
States.
hand signs.
And he was talking about the Bohemian Grove Club, as if that's where it all happens. That's where all the decisions are made. There are thousands of people go there, and there's some kind of a ceremony surrounding an owl and all that. Have you followed this at all?
Yes, I have, even though the show is on past my bedtime. But Alex Jones has been talking about this for quite a while. The Bohemian Grove, of course, is privately owned.
Okay, why are we getting this skull thing behind this guy? Or is this... is this guy a pirate? Is there pirates involved now in the Bohemian Grove?
Owned Redwood Grove up in Sonoma County, north of San Francisco, where every summer there is a get-together of the wealthy and well-placed, all
That
male,
footage was much better than Alex
who
Jones's.
get together for
Chad Savage?
general cavorting, socializing, lectures, symposia, and so on, in an atmosphere that is completely removed from public scrutiny. Alex Jones and some others have suggested for a long time that there are all sorts of nefarious rituals that go on, human sacrifices that were being committed by the elite who attend these gatherings.
NWO.
A lot of things people feel are organized behind the scenes with the Bilderbergers, the Trilateral Commission, the Council on Foreign Relations, the Masons. You can keep going down the list, and the Illuminati, One World Government, New World Order, Skull and Bones.
New World
You've
Order
got
is my favorite.
more information on that than I do, so call us at the top of the hour and talk to our guest about that, and we'll try to sort it out. Define Illuminati.
The Illuminati were a small quasi-Masonic group founded in Central Europe in 1776.
Quasi.
There was a surprising development in the summer of 2005.
Is that how
A
you say
Bohemian
that?
Grove employee decided
say
to videotape some of the activities in the Grove and to give us the footage. The footage you're seeing was shot on a tiny digital camera, so the quality isn't the best, but the images are powerful. The individual that gave us this footage asked that we not release their name. Our source was able to confirm what we had seen in internal Bohemian Grove documents and annals, that the elite of the elite attend the Grove. Our source personally saw New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson in attendance, Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, the famous newsman Walter Cronkite, and countless other luminaries. Without giving away the identity of our source, we can tell you this.
Richard Lamb,
the most
of course,
elite
the guy who was
encampment
on TV
within the Grove is Mandalay. Other members of the Grove were not even allowed to approach within 100 yards of this compound, swarming with Secret Service, valets, private French cooks, and private security men. In the compartmentalized system of the New World Order, Mandalay is an elite within an elite at the very top of the pyramid's capstone.
So
things have changed in the last few years, the all-male encampment. Since it's
this looks like it's 5 years after, because the Dark Secrets inside the Bohemian Grove was 2000, and this looks like it's around 2005, 2006.
Founding in 1872, no females have been allowed in. But under pressure, they've allowed women some jobs in parking cars and in the kitchens in special cloistered areas. Our source is male. We'll call him Kyle. He reported to us that it was a constant irritant inside the Grove, being asked by old men if he, quote, slept around and wanted to have some fun. During one of the festival's revelries, known as Gypsy Jazz, they paused to thank the author of the music. They talk about what a wonderful jazz player he was.
The people at the jazz show complimented the jazz musician and told him what great jazz music he played.
But that sometimes he did hang around with women, and the crowd boos with disgust.
He disappeared from time to time, often with women.
Gypsy jazz.
He thought stealing was fun.
The Grove's own internal annals brag that the Manhattan Project, or the plan to create the A-bomb, was hatched inside this building, known as the Chalet. The Strategic Defense Initiative, better known as Star Wars, was also the brainchild of Grove members and was born inside the Chalet.
Jazz music, straight from the devil.
At the height of the Cold War, top Soviet dignitaries traveled to the Bohemian Grove for secret meetings with the heads of the U.S. government as well as corporate leaders. Our source worked at the Grove in the summer of 2004 and the summer of 2005.
Let's call it.
And he was able to obtain 2 program covers for the cremation of care ceremony, as well as a 2005 membership list, which reads like a who's who of U.S. and European elite.
So they print who
Former President Jimmy Carter, former President George Herbert Walker Bush, President Bush, Henry Kissinger, George Shultz. The list goes on and on.
Charles Schultz, creator of Peanuts.
This is a video still of the sign at the entrance to the path to the Hillbilly Club where President Bush stays. Look at that happy little devil with his forked tail dancing and smiling and those sharp little teeth. Oh, it's so Christian. But again, President Bush had such a Christian name in Skull and Bones, Magog, or Satan's war leader.
What's the source?
The Grove is dominated by Republicans, the supposed party of Christian conservative family values.
Yeah, like,
but the
can
Grove
you
has
even
its
consider a group to be secretive if they will literally hand you a list of everyone that's a member and like pictures of everything that goes on there in a nice like collectible souvenir booklet.
share of high-powered Democrats as well. It's also important to note that the Grove itself was founded in 1872 by West Coast journalists, and that the National Press Club adopted the iconography of the Grove
Oh, look at the
for its
owl.
Great Seal. There are three major icons used in the cremation of care ritual.
Who would start
Moloch,
up an
the
organization
owl
and have
idol,
an owl as
the
the
curved
mascot?
staff carried by the high priest, and the
Wink.
eternal flame lamp, the Arabian-style lamp, which the priest uses to ignite his torch, which he then uses to burn the human effigy care. Here are video stills of the effigy after it has been burned on the altar in the morning.
Oh. Oh.
Many researchers of the global elite believe that real sacrifices are going on at the Grove. When I filmed the ceremony in 2000, I saw no evidence of this. It looked like an effigy, and the Druid priest were easily able to pick it up and take it up the steps to the platform. Our inside source informs us that there are actually 4 effigies used in the ceremony. One brought in on the back of the wagon, another that's used behind the trees, another that's brought across by the Grim Reaper to the steps of the idol, and still another effigy that is placed on a
Did you
black
see the
altar
effigy? It
before
was just
Moloch,
fucking
the demon
boards.
god, and
It wasn't
burned.
even like a person.
And this is the first and
shaped.
only time that video has ever been shot inside of the owl idol.
So this is inside the owl? Clearly, if he's a druidic shaman, he wouldn't be physically strong, imbued by the unholy strength of Satan or Magog.
We can now confirm that the owl is metal with a stone facing. Leaning up against a wall is the metal skeletal remains of Care. Care, or the conscience of the group, is symbolized by a human body. All that remains is the metal skeleton.
Inside the owl.
Our source informs us that the final effigy that is burned is made of a highly flammable material, and that the local fire department from Monterrey oversees this part of the ritual. That was an important piece of the puzzle, because in 2003 we traveled back to the Grove and talked to a lot of the locals who were mainly friendly.
Where's
But when we
this
talked to a couple
documentary?
of local firefighters who were with the Monterrey Fire Department and asked them about the Bohemian Grove, they got very upset and told us to turn our cameras off.
Well, he was telling me about you know, it's like where the president goes and stuff. And so we were gonna like talk to him, and then he's all over.
Hey man, shut the camera off, huh?
More hidden video reveals some of the ritualistic cloaks worn in the ceremonies.
Ritualistic cloaks. Oh, man.
Here are some more stills inside the Grove. Our social lives, going to the football game or the PTA, a little bit different than your average world leader or corporation chief. No, in their spare time, they worship Moloch and do mock human sacrifices. We just need to get used to that and accept him as our
In
leaders.
their spare time, they worship.
Think about it. If your neighbor was engaging in mock human sacrifices to Moloch, the demon
Why is he
idol
telling
that was
people
worshipped all
that
over the
their
Mediterranean
neighbors might be
and the Middle
involved in
East,
this?
would you let that neighbor walk your dog or house sit, or how about babysit your children, or be in control of the nuclear launch codes?
What?
Well, let me give you a revelation. They are in control of the national deficit, of Congress, of your bank account, of your local police
Yeah,
department.
it was a really.
And
that
they
was
see
a really.
you as cattle,
This
as
is-
their slaves.
This follow-up is only serving to reinforce how lame
Some of the
the
criticism we
Bohemian Grove
received
is.
came from an unexpected source. Harry Shearer, star of Spinal Tap and the voice of Mr. Burns on The Simpsons.
This is a get-together of very powerful
Hold
guys.
on a second. Alex Jones's source in this documentary is the voice of Montgomery Burns? Okay.
Harry Shearer played the role of apologist in a British documentary about the Grove. Mr. Shearer, who is also a member of the Grove, said that they're just having fun when they have the cremation of care ritual and that it's a men's party where they blow off steam. But Mr. Shearer didn't stop there. In 2002, he produced a full-length feature film and released it titled The Teddy Bear's Picnic. Mr. Shearer has told the press that his film is based on the Bohemian Grove. The owl of Bohemia is turned into a pelican.
Sometime?
Care is transformed into time. The Druidic rites are interpreted to simply be nonsensical sophomoric activities. Oh, and guess what the plot of the entire film is? That they're trying to keep their rituals secret, and two employees have hidden video cameras and are about to blow their secret wide open. I wonder who they could be talking about.
And I want to make an announcement for anyone who is parked across the street. Anyone who's parked across the street at the theater, on the theater grounds, you need to move your car.
Communist Manifesto.
Hey, hey! Ho, ho! This rich man's camp has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! This rich man's camp has got
What
to
a
go!
waste of
Hey,
time.
hey!
These people
This
are
rich
just what a
man's camp
waste of
has
time.
got to go! Hey, hey!
These people are as pathetic as
This
Alex
rich man's
Jones
camp
is.
has
What do they
got
give a
to
shit
go.
for?
Hey, hey!
Why do they care so much?
So, are you one of the Grovers?
Oh my god.
I'm just here.
No, I like the artwork, I'm not gonna lie, but I just don't understand what they're trying to accomplish here. My volume? How's that?
One of the strangest
Grover?
chapters in the unfolding Bohemian Grove soap opera was the fact that local protesters were angry
Is
at us
Grover a
bringing up
member
the
of the
occult
Grove?
activities in the Grove. They said that we should only spend our time focusing on the political decisions that were made in the Grove.
I think it's bad enough to just stick with what they're doing to the globe.
Local peace activist Mary Moore had been protesting the Grove for more than 2 decades. When Mary saw our documentary and heard our take on what we witnessed inside, she went unglued, calling us all sorts of names. We were wacko for thinking these rituals were strange. Why were we reporting on that? For the 2001
He's obviously a
protest,
fool.
the year after we snuck in, Mary turned over control of the organization to other local groups, but she was in attendance. We then caught footage of
I'll
the
try to
local
find
leaders
this
of the protest group
2003
actually carrying out their own counter rituals in some type of bizarre white magic versus black magic war.
Oh, wow.
They even
man.
had the
Hell yeah.
old-fashioned witch's pot. I was wondering where the brooms were. They conjured spirits,
Now
brought them
this,
into
I
the
get
circle,
this. I like this.
concentrated their power together, and then sent the spell in against the Grovers.
All protests should be using counter spells, in my opinion. At the bare minimum, counter spells. Of course you do.
Just been a little circle of protection around all of us and around this place.
Okay, hold on a second.
Hail, guardians of the watchtowers of the East.
Organic food. So this is a environmental protest, but is it an environmental protest of like what the people at the Grove are doing at the Grove? Like they want that land released to to the public, like that I can understand, but are you watching a cult documentary? Yeah, kind of. Or did they do something like, are they saying that they disapprove of what these people are doing outside of the Grove, like in their business life? Because if that's the case, this protesting in this tiny town, it probably isn't the best way to get your message out. But if they just want them to give the land back or whatever, that's a local issue, so I get that.
Spirits of air.
How you doing?
Spirits of changing winds of change. Be present here as we do this ritual. So mote it be.
I call upon the primal fires of transformation and creation.
Okay,
the
so
shining
it's the
face
global
of the Father and the molten core of the Mother. In their sacred union we stand.
Okay, hold on a second. Hold on. I'm sorry, I'm gonna pause it again. I get it now. I was just really high. I understand what's happening now. Like, these people are only protesting here during the 2 weeks where the people are at the Grove, right? That makes sense to me now. I was thinking they had like a year-round presence here. I'm a fool like Alex Jones.
Oh, spirits of the water! Spirits of this beautiful river that runs past
How's
us.
that?
We feel you in our blood, moving through our bodies. Let us welcome you as we remember that we are one. Ho, spirits of the water!
Oh, spirits of the water.
May we not fear the dark place that we enter in order to learn from you, Mother Earth. Guardians of the North, be with us.
Guardians of the North.
So mote it be.
How real is this? How real are these spells that I'm seeing?
A little too freaky for my taste.
Yeah.
A little too religious.
Am I entering into any binding contracts by doing that? Oh no. I've really awakened a spirit now. So these people are doing like protection spells and like positive harm reduction spells, right? According to Alex Jones. Counteracting the black magic of the owl people. I'm glad to have an
This
occult
went
expert.
on for literally hour after hour after hour.
What's up with the, is that a yarmulke or a paper plate? I can't tell. If it's like some other kind of religious item or clothing article.
Let's see that energy to this earth, this road that they're going to drive across, and do all the symbols we painted on it.
All right, so they're establishing the borders and opening up participants mentally. What about opening them up physically, like sexually? What kind of spells do you do for that?
There's a little spell that we've been working since the election.
Well, I really couldn't tell. I wasn't trying to insult the guy.
Maybe you'll say it after me. It goes like this. Let power and resources flow.
Don't worry, this spell is just going to open you up. Open you up physically.
And her people.
I don't think these people are going to burn anything. The people inside the Grove burn a, like, fake person. Woo! putting their hands on the ground. They're like
Warlock
reconnecting with
asked one of
nature.
the spirits to stay and give Grove members a welcome as they drove in their luxury automobiles.
Their luxury.
Winds of change, spirits of the air, powers of the east.
Oh, it already
we felt
happened?
your presence here, and would like for you to stick around and give a warm welcome to the folks who are coming here. But go if you must, and please stay if you will. Hail and farewell.
This is how I would spend my retirement, like this guy. This is great. I wish this was long. I wish this was full length. Well, I was kind of surprised that Alex Jones didn't like confront any of these people, but then again, like this footage was given to him by a source. Let's say, let's call him
Does it feel
Kyle.
good to get loaded on the slave ships, giggling happily? Face scanning cameras going up. You don't speak out against that.
And that cauldron is water from sacred places.
Okay.
And from political action.
Okay, so Alex Jones is mad that these people are protesting here and they're not protesting against face recognition cameras, yet he's here. This is now the third time he has devoted his efforts to monitoring the Grove, but he's going to criticize these people for doing the same thing, except at least these people don't seem motivated by money or, you know, clicks or whatever. These just seem like, you know, general weirdos. I don't think Alex Jones has any room to criticize these people.
It's all around this water. They're from Seattle and from
Look at her that
Quebec
hand
City.
motion.
And
She's got it smoothed down.
Charleswell and other places people know of. The birthplace of Quetzalcoatl. And
I'm worked up. This has got me real
Amatlan.
worked up.
And I'm going to take some of it actually tomorrow
Upset.
to Genoa, to the protest there against the G8, and we're going to do some kind of cauldron ritual in the midst of it, which will be interesting.
Do you think if they were doing this at the Palestine protest, they would get more out? They could get more coverage. Get Alex Jones out there. What's this guy doing? Defeat the Bush.
Now I'm beginning to realize why we're not supposed to talk about all the occult activities that are going on inside the Grove. It isn't magic or belief in magic that's the problem. It's not the occult. No, it's those evil right-wingers. And by the way, let's not mention all those top Democrats that are inside. It's pretty hypocritical. Now, to be fair, Mary Moore and many of the protesters were not involved in the ritual. But we did see leaders of the ritual directing the protest and moderating with police. The police even shut down the road so they could carry out their ritual. And to be fair, it wasn't just Western magic that was being practiced at the protest. There was a
Western
group
magic?
there
What's that?
promoting
Capitalism?
Santeria. You know, that Caribbean voodoo practice. But they also mixed in some Aztec worship. So it was quite a grab bag of occultism.
What is the purpose of the offering for the altar? What is that?
Giving back to Mother, giving back to the earth. We just take, and consume. But today, we're asking everybody to give something back.
So this is to return something to the earth, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Since by doing so, we resurrect care.
Oh, okay. Okay, I understand. Thank you.
Our investigator talked to a local NPR reporter who had an interesting run-in with what we later learned was the Secret Service.
Cool. I was alerted to very fancy cars standing in the side street here, and I walked up.
What
the
a
guy
wonderful
had his window down,
person.
and he
She
had all
looks like
kinds
the
of
lady from the
fancy
first
recording equipment on his seat
Indiana
next to
Jones
him.
movie with this
And I held the
crazy
microphone in, and
Amelia
I said,
Earhart
"Sir, we're
outfit
curious
on.
about who you are. Would you please tell us who you are?" And he said, "Take your mic out of my car, lady, and step back." And I said, "Would you repeat that for broadcast?" And held it even closer. And that's all I could get out of him. And then he sort of tried to run over my toe. He turned
Hey,
his
quit
car around,
filming.
disappeared in that
You see that
direction.
guy filming?
And people said he was on the bridge filming before. So he was somebody from the other side who was documenting this.
Right, the wrong side. Okay.
The wrong side, yes.
Wrong side.
In studying worldwide occult networks in modern times and throughout history, we always run into the same data. Compartmentalized pyramidal structures with a bunch of well-meaning dupes at the bottom, managers in the central areas, and Luciferian death cult adherents at the top. In India, it is Kali. The Mayans and Aztecs' greatest gods were the gods of death. It was the same in Egypt and in Babylon, as well as Rome and ancient Greece. But what about those sweet little Hawaiians? You guessed it, throwing virgins into that live volcano. The
What
god
about
of
those
death demands
adorable
it,
Hawaiians?
so the rest of us can live. The Druids would bash their children's brains out and kick them into a peat bog. Noblemen would willingly give themselves up to the Druidic priest to have their throats slit before they were thrown into fiery pits known as bonfires today.
Well, this is certainly
Don't forget
eye-opening
the
for me.
European tradition of the Burning Man. Take your strongest man when times get tough. Strap him into a huge wicker effigy of a human
That's from
and
a movie.
torch him. That will make the gods bring back the fertility. That will make the gods bring life to the tribe. Death brings life. They call it creative destruction. But in reality, it is simply a tool of the elite to abuse, subjugate, and dominate their populations for their own good. We're looking at ancient propaganda. In the fall of 2004, while
Ancient
in New
propaganda.
York to cover the Republican National Convention, we ran into David Gergen, the Karl Rove of 4 presidential administrations. Okay, one last question. I read a Washington Times article many years ago where you had a comment about the organization, and then now it's been in the Wall Street Journal, it's been in a lot of different newspapers, and that's the Bohemian Grove. And back in, what was it, 1996, when you joined as a Clinton advisor, the Republicans were criticizing you. Oh, what about Bohemian Grove? And then you countered them by saying, hey, I don't run around in the woods naked. What did that mean? Here is the before-mentioned Washington Times article where he said, I didn't run around naked like they do.
What's wrong with that? Who cares if people are running around naked?
Referring to. I'm not aware of any quote like that. Listen, I am a happy member of the Bohemian Grove. I like the folks who come there, and it's really inappropriate for me to talk about the group beyond that. Thank you. Have you been there for the ceremony with the cremation of care? Frankly, I don't think that's something I need to talk to you about. Really? That's right. Well, I'm Alex Jones, and I snuck in there in 2000. I'm the guy that blew it wide open and got the video.
Had to nerf him
Well, I
with the
disrespect
settlement.
you for that.
You do?
I do.
But it's a
I
lot of
bet
big
he'll never
public
have to pay
officials
any of
going in
that.
there.
I'd be
Don't we deserve
surprised.
to know?
You took I don't know anything about you, and I don't know anything about your film. But if you go in there with an understanding, you violated that understanding by releasing that film, and I don't respect you for that.
Really? But we have public officials there
I'm
setting
sorry. You
policy.
took an understanding when you went in there that you would not do that film, and did you have an understanding when you went in there?
No.
Did you crash it?
Yes.
Yeah, and it has no trespassing signs there too, doesn't it?
No, they put them
Yes,
up
sir.
after.
Oh, I'm
I just
sorry.
walked in.
I'm sorry, sir. I've been there before. I know what the circumstances are, and I'm sorry you violated the understandings. That was not a gentlemanly.
Here's the deal.
But what about the ritual? Is the ritual?
I think that he was invited in, but he did some filming, without permission. But the way that he was walking around in there, he had to be allowed and invited in. I don't believe that he crashed it. And especially because this guy is making it seem like it would be a little more difficult to get in. I think Alex Jones just doesn't want to admit that, he was invited in. Like that would somehow decrease his credibility or something.
Genuinely?
Sir, everything. I don't owe you this comment.
I know. I appreciate it.
This is what's called ambush journalism, and I disrespect you for that as well. So thank you,
Have you ever
and goodbye.
been in the ritual?
That's none of your damn business.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's right. Listen.
Oh,
listen.
wow.
You go around and make understandings with people and violate them. You ambush people on the streets when that.
Okay, so he's pretty much coming out and saying it, right? Or am I misunderstanding this? He's saying that Alex Jones had an understanding with the people at Bohemian Grove, and he violated that understanding, which was that they didn't want footage to come out. Or am I crazy? That's what it seems like to me.
It's an inappropriate form of journalism. If you wish to practice that, that's fine, but don't ask others to respect you for it. If you want to, you can do it. You're a free American, like anything you want. If you want to be uncivil and rude and ungentlemanly, that's up to you. But don't expect the rest of us to say, "Oh, well, you're one."
Mr. Gergen.
I'm sorry, nobody sets policy in there. We try to be gentlemen, and obviously, you don't belong there.
Weaving spiders coming out here?
Yeah, that is a three-pointer. Woo! Look how strangely he behaved when we brought it up. Why is he acting so secretive? And why did he get so angry when he discovered that we'd snuck in? You see, they take it very, very seriously.
I'm going to go grab a
This is
drink.
one of
I'll
the
be right
hallmarks
back.
of the occult and secret societies. The word occult means secret. Secrecy is part of their religion. They revel in it. And when it's violated, they become extremely angry. How widespread is the occult? The answer is extremely widespread. Occultism in our society, and particularly in our government, at the highest levels of corporate America, is rampant. It is a well-publicized fact.
Yeah, he
that the
definitely,
Reagans
I mean,
had
that guy
every
pretty much
aspect
spelled
of
it
their
out, but he
lives
had an agreement with
governed
him.
by their astrologer. Imagine having your life controlled down to the exact minute that you give a speech by astrology, an ancient occult system that believed that the earth was the center of the universe. Eleanor Roosevelt admitted that she performed seances and tried to raise the dead at the White House.
What's wrong with
60
that?
years later, Hillary Clinton had her own seances attempting to contact Eleanor Roosevelt. Prime Minister Tony Blair and his wife practice the occult every morning. Tony Blair draws a circle and then conjures the spirit that he calls the light. He channels it and makes decisions according to what the spirit tells him. The Blairs' admitted occult activities are legion.
Okay, so what's the deal with this? What's the difference between what he's describing and what he would tell you to do? Which he would tell you, like, every morning when you wake up, pray and ask God for guidance and ask God for favor or whatever. And then pray when you go to bed. Like, that's a ritual just as much as drawing a circle and summoning the light. Right? It just seems dumb to me. Like, if I don't believe in any of it, but like, one seems the same as the other to me.
And so was Hitler's well-known obsession with dark mysticism. Adolf Hitler belonged to the pre-Nazi death cult, the Thule Society, as well as the Thule Society. Both groups trace their lineage back to the Order of Death, founded in 1776 in Ingolstadt University in Bavaria, Germany. Then, of course, it spread to the U.S. with the founding of Skull and Bones.
You were both in Skull and Bones, the secret society.
It's so secret we can't talk about it.
What does that mean for America? The conspiracy theorists are going to go wild.
I'm sure they are. I don't know. I haven't seen the web.
Number 322?
First of all, he's not the nominee. Look, I look forward...
Are you prepared to lose?
No, I'm not going to lose.
You both were members of Skull and Bones, a secret society at Yale. What does that tell us? Not much, because it's a secret. Is there a secret handshake? Is there a secret code? I wish there were something secret I could manifest. 322, secret number? There are all kinds of secrets, Tim, but one thing is not a secret. I disagree with this president's direction.
Aleister Crowley, who dubbed himself the Beast and the most evil man alive, was a fellow traveler with some of the most powerful people in British society, including
it all seems the same
prominent
to me.
royals.
Rituals are rituals.
The Church
Some
of
are just
Satan,
cooler than others. Like, this
the
is a
Temple
cooler
of
ritual
Set,
than
the OTO, the Golden Dawn,
the Golden
Skull
Dawn.
and Bones, Bohemian Grove, the Blue Lodge.
Are they talking about
the
Johnny
Scottish
Sins,
Rite,
the Golden Dawn?
the 33rd Degree. It seems like there are hundreds of different occultic groups, but all they are different denominations in the same religion, the Egyptian and Babylonian mystery schools. Albert Pike, who was the supreme Grand Mason of the entire world, founded the Ku Klux Klan. But you don't hear Jesse Jackson calling for his statue to be removed in Washington, D.C. Why is that? Because Jesse Jackson is a 33rd degree Mason. Now, don't get me wrong. Most Masons are what high-level occultists call porch Masons or outsiders. They themselves are considered neophytes by those in the inner circle or those nearer the top of the pyramid. They're compartmentalized. They believe that their great work, as they call it, is to help society. But in reality, they're being controlled and manipulated.
Well, let me tell you from personal firsthand experience. Being a Mason, I'm not a Mason anymore, but I've been a Mason, and it's extremely boring. It's predominantly elderly men, and when Jones is talking about service or whatever, that's like literally, I'm not kidding, like those pancake breakfasts, and they'll have like a fundraiser to donate to like a children's hospital, or like a spaghetti dinner. Like, it's literally the most like basic stuff you can think of. There's really nothing mystical or anything about it whatsoever. And in fact, the reason I left was because they have a policy that if somebody in your immediate family, like a parent or a sibling or even like a partner, has any issue with you being a Mason, they ask you not to be a Mason because they don't want you to have any negativity toward the group, and they don't want you to compromise your personal life over it.
Knights of the Secret
And
Circle.
my mom
the
thought
Knights
there
of the
was some
Golden
weird
Circle.
stuff going on.
This
with
is
it,
what
which there wasn't,
high-level KKK members call themselves. But even low-level KKK members do not understand that the KKK itself is part of a larger Masonic organization. Most Masons detest the Klan, but they've never looked on their own temple walls.
They have trouble just getting people to join, and they can't afford the upkeep on their
why
lodges.
the founder of the Klan is hanging in their
they don't
temple.
have all this
is the
power.
power
That's
of hidden in
asinine.
plain view, a favorite trick of Luciferians. Where did this dark thinking start? This black spirituality.
He was like a early
The central
influencer.
thread goes back to ancient Egypt and Babylon with the mystery schools. They knew that knowledge is power, and so secret societies were formed to guard the secrets of medicine, architecture, government, agriculture. Secret societies are nothing more than the first intelligence agencies. Knowledge had to be guarded. But over time, elites abused their control of the knowledge and used it to dominate their population.
Can you imagine having to
And
smoke
the
weed
same
that was like 5%
sciences
THC?
of control are being used today.
Like, I know it's not
That's
everything.
why the
but-
elite today relishes secrecy. They know that it is the fount of their power. They seek to dumb down the population, not just to hoard their secret knowledge to make us even more mindless, more domesticated, like braying sheep to the slaughter. Their religion is the science of sophistry, the science of the con artist, the science of the despot, the dictator, the tyrant, the controller, the charlatan, the liar. They come to kill, steal, and destroy. They are
that's from the
parasites.
Bible.
They are anathema to free, dynamic human societies. Know your enemy. Stand up for love and life and family, and resist the New World Order and the Babylonian slave state our enemies are attempting to construct.
Well, so that
I want
was...
to tell everybody out in TV land how they can come to the Grove, where their elected leaders, along with the big bankers and the heads of media, meet, along with some European royalty, every year to decide how to run the country.
Bonus
You
scenes.
can fly into San Francisco, or you can fly into Santa Rosa. You can even fly into Sacramento, and you just drive out to Highway 101. You take Highway 12 out west towards the coast. You get about 10 miles out from the coast, right outside the little town of Monterey. And the town of Monterey, off the main drag, you'll take the Bohemian Avenue. And it dead ends right here at the 2,700-acre Redwood Grove
entrance, where your world leaders, among other things, set policy for
They
much
run
of the
around
planet
naked.
and rest of the
They're
black
hanging
river
down in the woods.
Well, Moloch.
To purchase additional copies of this film, or to see dozens of other films and
We
important
need to
books,
see all these
be
films.
sure and visit Infowars.com.
Well, that was Order
or
of Death,
PrisonPlanet.com.
an update on Bohemian
Or to
Grove. I
order,
thought it
simply
was
call
pretty
toll-free.
amazing.
1-888-253-39.
I really wish there was more footage of the new Grove footage was really cool. I thought all the like ritual footage of the hippies
Hey
was
guys,
really
get
cool.
your cameras on. Yeah, what's going on?
Republican.
I've almost been arrested 3 times every day, anywhere in the city,
Now, what is
videotaping
this?
anything.
Oh.
It is an absolute nightmare. And we're looking for patriots that know
I
what
think
the
I
Bill of
can
Rights
get this
and Constitution
one,
says, and that can see all of this
I think I can
and know that it's a
access this
fraud.
one if we want to watch it sometime.
4 planes in 2 hours! How can that be?
A cop on 9/11 said that it was going to come down. I don't know how he knew that.
On the morning of 9/11, the CIA was running a drill of flying hijacked jets into the World Trade Center and Pentagon. Building 7 is
Who's gonna
further
get flagged
away
for everything?
from the towers and was not hit by planes.
They already put a disclaimer on the other Bohemian Grove video. A fact
It
check.
collapses because he's got a big fat insurance policy. And the Project for New American Century said that we need a terrorist attack on the Order of Pearl Harbor to get the American people behind a war.
Prescott Bush, he did a number of things that were not only anti-American, but were pro-Hitler.
A lot of people aren't going to know what Skull. I don't really know what it is.
Why don't you talk about NORAD standing down, Michael?
Yeah,
Why not
I'll
the
work
really
on
hardcore
getting
9/11
I'll work
issues?
on getting some at least one new
And
Alex
goodbye.
Jones DVD soon.
That's none of your damn business.
I love that guy. Was great. So we want to watch Martial Law 9/11 Rise of the Police State. Okay, so that's Order of Death. Again, I thought it was great. Love the hippie footage. Love Alex Jones's crazy ramblings about the occult. Pretty fantastic stuff. And we'll definitely have to revisit Alex again soon. Hopefully, I'd like to find that 2003 Bohemian Grove too, if he actually made a video about it. But anyway.